This is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
And I have to warn everyone, warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Jasper, don't eat that freaking wire, man. Oh my god. If you bite that again, I'm coming over there. Jasper. Jasper. That's it. That's it. Now he gets it. You don't eat my wires. You don't chew wires. Stop this right now. You're out of here. You're out of here, Buster. That's what you get for chewing wires. Oh, I had to throw him out of the office. What a pain in the ass.
Any pet that I get would never be allowed in my office ever. Unless I'm highly supervising them. So the cat comes in for 5 minutes to be on stream or whatever. Okay, you guys can see the cat on stream and it hangs out. Then it's get the fuck out. Because I can't babysit a cat while I'm trying to play a game or record a stream, you know.
I don't mind Jasper being in the office, but what it is, when I start talking to you guys, he literally will not chew a damn thing in the office until I start talking to you guys. And then when I do, he gets jealous. He's like, oh, Phil's talking to someone else but me. He's not giving me all the attention, so let me do something to get his attention. So he'll start chewing on a wire, you know. So I had to toss him out of the office. It is what it is. Even if Death Stranding today isn't, like, super riveting, I think it'll still be a great stream. You guys have been a really great audience for Death Stranding so far. Even though we've had, segments... Whoa, the camera's on the whole time! Even though we've had segments. Yes, I'm definitely interested in playing Shenmue 3. I want to play Shenmue 3, but not going to do it until we wrap up at least a couple of the playthroughs that I'm doing right now. Two news things I would like to talk about. The first is, everyone's asking me about my opinions on these, Game Award nominations. I don't care. I've told you guys for the past 5+ years, the Game Awards are not official. They are paid for by media companies and fanboys.
Oh my god, this shocks me.
That's not an exaggeration. The people who actually pay for the Game Awards and nominate the games and vote on the games, you know, this is not something that's like viewer-based or anything like that. Okay? It's basically a ginormous paid advertisement event. It means absolutely nothing. It's not official in any capacity. So, oh, did you hear this game won Game of the Year? No, it didn't. No, the Game Awards, you know, paid advertisement event may have named a game of the year. Doesn't mean that it's actually Game of the Year. It means nothing. It's complete fluff. But people, for some reason, get hyped, much like they think this is like the Oscars, right? No. And even then, the Oscars don't mean shit either, you know? So, I pay no attention to the Game Awards. I don't care about the Game Awards. I'm not going to watch the Game Awards. No one gives a shit, and no one should give a shit. If you do, you're buying the needless hype, and, you know, that's why I don't pay attention to that crap. Alright? So, I don't care about the Game Awards. Asking me about it is a waste of everybody's time. Alright? Now, the other news is Google Stadia. Oh boy. What a surprise on this one. So, we heard for how long that Google is working on a live streaming gaming service where you don't need to own a console at all. All you need to do is to have, you know, a Google Stadia streaming service. It's going to live stream these games over the internet without any hardware at all. You can play it on your phone. You can play it on your PC. You can play it on whatever you want. And you don't need to own a console. No more expensive hardware needed to play the best AAA games out there. I said from the get-go, the moment this was announced, I said this is not going to work. If we all lived in Japan, it would probably work, because in Japan the internet is state-funded, meaning the government owns the internet. And therefore the government has mandates on the speed requirements and the quality of the internet in the country. So if you live in Japan in any of the major, you know, regions, your internet is absolutely outstanding. I actually talked about this many years ago when people were saying, Phil, I don't understand. Why is it that games like Street Fighter 4 play so badly online? And I said, well, the truth of the matter is because the games were designed to be played in Japan, not in America. In Japan, the internet's outstanding, and people have actually said that playing fighting games online in Japan, it's the same as sitting next to a person on an arcade cabinet. There's no lag at all, because their internet is so outstanding. But in the United States, we don't have consistent internet. What we have is a bunch of companies competing to provide internet service to you. You've got your Cablevision, you've got your Comcast, you've got your Time Warner, and what was the other one? There's like 4 major ones, and then there's all the minor, like all the cell phone companies that also provide internet service. Okay? So, in America, we don't have consistent internet. Everyone could have a different connection. If you haven't noticed, anytime I play a game online, the entire situation is hit or miss. Sometimes I play online and there's no lag at all. Sometimes I play online and there's moderate lag. Sometimes I play online and there's monstrous lag. And that's all because our internet is flaky as shit. It's the direct reason why. We don't have, you know, a consistent, dedicated internet service. So, because of that, you're always going to have issues with latency. Basically, think of it this way. Just think of it this way. You have a water pipe, okay? And that water pipe is all one kind of pipe. It's streamlined, it's smooth, it's solid, and so your water flow is very, very strong. That's Japan's internet. In America, what we have is a bunch of companies all telling you that their pipe is the best. So one's a copper pipe, one's a PVC pipe, one is a, I don't know, aluminum pipe, 10, 20 different kinds of pipes, and they're all held together by fucking tape and adhesive and stick and fucking band-aids and shit. Someone has to put a rope on it, and they're all barely holding together. They do hold together. So the water does get from point A to point B, but by the time it gets out to the under end, it's very inconsistent. It's trickling out the end, it then all of a sudden explodes, you know, super strong flow. It's basically what it is. That's the internet in America. It's a bunch of people competing with different kinds of product, and yeah, it all connects, but it's not consistent and it's not smooth, right?
Basically, here's a whiny baby.
So, now, with this being the case, and us knowing this, right, from experience, 11 years I've been playing games on the internet, and I've seen this firsthand. How in the holy hell did Google think they were going to make a live streaming service where they were going to stream the game over the internet without you needing any hardware whatsoever, and that this was going to be a viable service? I mean, the moment they announced this, I said, this is insanely stupid. These guys just don't know what the hell they're talking about. It's obvious, again, this is what Google does. They get these crazy sky-high ideas with no real-world implementation. Remember Google Glass? Oh, yeah, that's what everyone wants to do. We want to have a giant set of glasses over our face with a heads-up display. Like, we don't have enough shit distracting us in real life. Now we need things popping up in front of our fucking eyes as we walk around. You know. This is what they do. They these crazy, unfinished, weirdo ideas. And then they try to implement them and sell them before they're even ready. And that's what Google Stadia is. If we had great internet, it probably would be amazing. But guess what? It's not. We don't have that. And so, you know, how did you think this would work? So it's hilarious because all the early reviews came out for Google Stadia. And the reviews are like a fucking laugh riot. You watch some guys trying to play the game in his office, and he presses space bar on his computer, and nothing happens. Then all of a sudden the guy jumps late. And then as he continuously presses space bar, the jumps become more and more staggered to the point where the game's completely uncontrollable and unplayable. And people reported it's not only just on PC, but on their phones as well. Like, you try to play these games on anything, they're all monstrously delayed. And I guess, basically what the report is this is a great idea. The graphics, by the way, apparently looked pretty good. Very few people complained about the graphical fidelity of the games. What they did complain about was the delay in controls, the latency. So, this sounds like a great idea for 10 years down the line, when our internet technology may improve and ends up being much better, but for something today, it's not needed, nor does anyone ask for it. The other thing is, and this was a good point that I hadn't even thought of. So some people were like, the real reason this will fail is because even if it worked, who wants it? Because now you get no console exclusives, right? Google Stadia isn't going to get God of War right at launch. It's not going to get Death Stranding right at launch, you see? Instead, the console exclusives are going to get stuck to the consoles, and Google Stadia will be like the ultimate third-party game venue, but you'll never get, you know, good exclusive games on the Stadia. And that's what they're saying is, if you're really going to go with Stadia, you need a reason to. If they had an amazing exclusive game just available on Google Stadia, gamers would probably go in droves to try to play it. But what is their incentive, right? Right now, there's zero incentive. You know, already we're hearing, okay, launch title for the next Xbox is going to be Halo Infinite. And of course, everyone is leaning towards this, you know, the new PlayStation. Like, what will be the exclusive game? Now, we already heard that The Last of Us is coming out, you know, at some point. We don't know exactly when. You know, everyone's excited for Sony exclusives all the time, right? But what do you need the Stadia for? To play games you can already have, you know? So that's the thing. Like, that's what they were. The way that they were touting it was the only person who would want a Google Stadia is, number one, a person who doesn't own a console, Number 2, a person who can't afford a console. Number 3, a person who doesn't, a person who's the only gamer in the house, doesn't need to share that service, because keep in mind, this is all over the internet. So if you have more than one gamer in the house who wants to play games at once, impossible. The internet, you know, the internet already is laggy enough. Now imagine 2 people trying to do this at once. It's impossible. Basically, like, the clientele for this service is so narrow where it would be viable that it doesn't even make sense that it exists. Like it's not worth a price tag at all. You know, even being free, it's a hard sell. So...
hilarious, because it's exactly what I fucking said. The moment this was announced, I said, this will never fucking work. Remember? I'm all about myself. Oh, the stream's all about me. It's all about me. I'm constantly masturbating all around my streaming equipment, just so you guys know.
This was attempted many years ago. It was called the Ouya. Anyone remember the Ouya that I had, that I messed around with? Anyone remember? Yeah. Remember how bad that was? How games were unplayable? No, excuse me, not the Ouya. The OnLive. I'm sorry, I completely screwed up. Not the Ouya, the OnLive. Where OnLive was a console that wasn't a console. It was just a small little streaming device that you would hook up to your TV, and they would try to stream games. And it never worked. You remember that, right? It never worked at all. It just lagged constantly. I couldn't even play a single game on it. Every game I attempted to play on the OnLive lagged up, and I never finished a game because the service was shit. And here we are years later, and it's the same thing. It's like, Google didn't know that OnLive existed. Like, Google did no research at all to figure out that someone had already attempted to do what they were doing and didn't know that it doesn't work. Like, it's... at least with OnLive. At least with OnLive, you could say at least it was a good idea, and it just didn't work out. Google had a case of people doing this already and it not working, and they ignored it and thought that they could still make it work because they're stupid. Like, I don't know what else to say. But anyway, I'm going on at length about this, which I shouldn't be. Yeah. Essentially, the Google Stadia is a huge failure. Almost every single reviewer said it didn't work. There were very few, probably out of all the people who got the advanced units, I think like 5 people said it actually worked for them, and everyone else was like, yeah, just lagged to shit and we couldn't play it. So, you know, not surprising. I wasn't getting it, certainly I wasn't getting it anyway. So, you know, thank God we didn't waste our time on that. And, oh well, back to the drawing board for Google, I guess. Just another failed experiment. Just the same bin where everyone threw their Google Glass. I guess that's where you throw your fucking, your Google Stadia controller. Because that's all it is, a controller. They sell you the controller or whatever. Toss that right in the trash. Okay, then. By the way, I'm not saying that eventually this wouldn't work, but like I said, it's far too early. It's far too early, and it would take too much time to have the internet upgraded to the point where this would be supported, that this would be a viable product. You're talking another decade at least. So, once again, Google, biting off more than they can chew and trying to do something that they're just not equipped to handle. Sorry. It's just the truth.
The best way you can support me is by tipping me. Tipping is funds that I can get right away, funds that I can use to pay bills, to buy games, you know, especially come end of the year now, you know, and I'm sure everyone was expecting this end of the year push for taxes. This happens every year where I need to raise money for taxes near the end of the year. This is no exception. That'll be coming up. So any funds right now that you lend, not only are paying the bills, but also are going to allow me to afford my taxes at year end. So please consider tipping if at all you can today. That would help me out more than anything. We're afraid that in the back of our heads, we're just got taxes, taxes, taxes. Oh, Phil's a scammer, and Phil took the money that he said was for taxes, and he did it to pay for a wedding. Yeah, we're not talking about it anymore, guys. The bottom line is, tax issue is my issue right now. I don't have a single dollar to put towards my federal taxes this year. Not a dollar. Every dollar that I'm bringing in now has to go towards all my other things. I'm not going to sit here and every day start talking about taxes and shit. I'm just not. I want to be here and enjoy games and hang out with you guys and have fun. That's what this is about. It's not about my tax problems, even though they exist. You guys don't want to hear about that every freaking day, you know? Even when near the end of the year, I need to do some kind of emergency style fundraisers if I have to or whatever, you know, we'll talk about that.
All right, Mr. Barbavera cheered 50 bits. He says, mentioning a lot of new releases. When there is a game that comes out I'm excited for, I'll watch, even if it takes a while to get to. Especially if it's someone I enjoy watching. There were titles where I've been watched Let's Plays from several people. In some cases, getting a new blind Let's Play after the hype died down can be refreshing. I agree. That's why I love the fact that not only is it live streaming with me, but I have all my stuff available on demand afterward. You know, you can watch at your own pace. Maybe some people right now are playing the new releases, right? They don't want to watch me play them now because they don't want to spoil for themselves. But once they finish the games, then they'll go back and they'll watch my playthrough on YouTube on demand afterward, okay? I will say this, alright? Thank you to those who do that. I appreciate that. But I should emphasize that
ad revenue on YouTube is abysmally low. It's funny because, like, I barely even see ads on YouTube anymore. It's rare when an ad even plays for someone like me because I'm not a big dog who gets all the advertisement space. So, FYI, ad revenue is almost non-existent. If you are someone who exclusively watches my stuff on YouTube, please consider contributing via another method, whether it be pledging to my Patreon or sending a tip during a live stream, whatever it may be. Disgusting beggar, I e-beg, right? You're constantly asking your viewers and your fans for contribution. You know, oh, he's an e-beggar. In 2017, the bottom fell out on YouTube. They lost most of their major advertisers, and it became completely impossible for someone like me to still make a living doing YouTube full-time. So I said, I got to do something different and drastic. I changed myself. I evolved. I became a full-time beggar.
only because, like I said, it's not like it used to be where I used to be able to make significant any income really on ad revenue. It's changed completely on YouTube because the whole business fell apart. And it's not like it used to be, oh, well, Phil's just making out on my view because of the ads. No, I'm not. I do need support in other methods, so please consider it. If that's the deal and you are someone who just watches exclusively on YouTube, please consider contributing via another method, okay?
Cockroach! Cockroach! La cucaracha! La cucaracha! Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone. Just gone like that. In an instant. Fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. I eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you. No decency, no respect, no common sense, no fucking maturity. Is the guy who just doesn't get reality.